Right, hello everyone and welcome to Attic Gaming Club Podcast episode 8. Today with me I have Tom.
Hello.
And a new member for you all, although not a new member to our gaming club I guess in that sense. Dan, introduce yourself Dan.
Hello, I'm Dan, what's up?
Cool. So yeah Dan, you've been out of the gaming scene for a while now, haven't you? But you used to play.
Yeah, I played some fantasy Warhammer a long time ago, and I am a bit of a Magic the Gathering whore, I suppose. Those are the main games that I'm playing.
Cool. Yeah, I think whore is the right word for people that play Magic the Gathering. I hear Dave and Sam has dragged Dave into it. He went to some... Did you go with them?
What's the GP?
Is that what it was?
Yeah. So it was a big tournament in London. There was just under 2,000 people there. So
really?
It was pretty insane.
Wow. Oh, was this the 40 quid entry one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did Dave went to that, did he?
I don't know, I didn't see Dave. Well, I didn't see Sam there either, actually.
Oh, really?
There was that many people there that they could have been there. I don't know.
I thought I saw something about them going to a Dark Sphere event or something.
Right, I think that was on the Friday before.
Oh, right, okay. You didn't?
No, I couldn't make it for that.
I saw Dave put some pictures up on Facebook of Magic the Gathering cards that he'd bought.
I saw that as well, yeah. Okay, I guess I thought you guys were all in it together, but if it was just Dave and Sam, then fair enough. But yeah, so we'll have to, rein that behaviour in a little bit so we don't lose him.
See, I'm fairly confident that if I were to try and get into Magic the Gathering, I think I would love it. I think it's exactly the sort of game that would appeal to me, which is why I know I should stay well away from it.
It is a good...
I just do not have the time or financial ability to start up yet another game.
I think that's it, I mean, I used to be well into it back in the day, and it is good fun, but it drains your money. It really does. Yeah. Unless you stick with just sort of like draft events or whatever, where you know how much you're going to spend.
Yeah, it's not so bad if you play like the older formats like Legacy or Modern, because they don't rotate out like Standard does with the cards. So once you've built a deck, although you will have to spend a lot of money building it, once you've got it, it's cool. You can just play that. And
it's both cool that you can sort of you spend your money, you get your cards, and that's it. You've got your deck, you can play with that. There's no extra stuff like Warhammer or the other games where you sort of you're collecting, building, painting, converting, and it's all your army's always in a state of unfinishedness in a way. It's cool that you don't have that, but on the flip side, it's a lot of money and all you get is cards.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with that fact whatsoever.
Like 200, 250 for a good deck.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It's a lot of money for 60 bits of card.
That's the best part of it. I'd say about half a Warhammer army, isn't it? Depending if you buy it straight from GW.
Yeah.
Probably close to 2/3 one if you get it online.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, I almost feel like you get more value out of it for a Warhammer army.
Yeah, you totally do. And the fact that you can, if you enjoy painting them and like you say, converting and stuff is...
I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends what you get out of it. So the investment's only going to be worthwhile if you get what you want out of it.
Yeah, if you're not interested in converting and painting, then you're right. Those are things that you have to do in order to play. I know you've said in the past that those...
I'm not a painting fan. I'm not in this hobby for the painting side of it.
Yeah, then you're right. Magic does sound like you might interest you actually. So yeah, we'll have to ban that.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. But we'll keep a close eye on it. But cool, okay, well, yeah. Welcome, Dan. Hopefully we can get you interested in some other stuff. Board games, Necromunda, more time.
Yeah, for sure.
Starting with a bit of Necromunda, I think that's the easiest one.
It's a proper game.
Everybody loves Necromunda. Cool, excellent. Well, welcome. So, let's move on to a bit of news. Do we have any news?
Whole sort of controversy over the last couple of weeks of GW pursuing this copyright claim against someone who put Space Marine into the title of her novel. I think enough has been said about that. It's made it onto BBC News and what have you. So,
I didn't hear that. That sounds pretty insane.
Essentially GW claimed they had a trademark on it, and Amazon for a short while took the book off sale.
Really?
But it's since gone back on sale after a fairly large public backlash against GW from people just saying, this isn't cricket, you can't do that.
And they're pretty common words as well. I mean, Space Marine.
Yeah.
What?
I think the first time it was used in print was in 1932.
Really?
So it's not even close to being something that GW patented. It's just something that they've used a lot, and so feel they have some sort of right to.
I can understand them claiming ownership over it under certain circumstances, like using it to describe a figure or army of little plastic or metal guys that look like, you know, bio-engineered humans from the future. That's very specific, you know, imagery that is attached to that word, and in that situation I can understand them claiming that, but just, yeah, you're right, on a book that has nothing to do with Space Marines as Warhammer depicts them, no.
So that's, I think, the only bit of news I've had. Demons of Chaos seem to be rumoured as a fantasy release for next month, probably the 40k release at the same time.
That would make sense, since they just got those updated rules in the White Dwarf not too long ago.
Other than that, no news from me.
Cool. Yeah, nothing from me really. Certainly nothing new anyway, I guess, unless Dan has anything we can move on to what we've been up to.
Not especially. I got stomped playing Magic the Gathering at the tournament, that's about it.
That's cool. Well, we can move into that anyway, which is, you know, our next segment of just what you've been up to recently, gaming wise. So you went to this GT tournament.
Yeah.
How did you do?
Well, because there were so many people there, I think it was 10 rounds, and the only way that you could get onto the second day was by winning 8, losing 2. So, like, I think I won 3 and lost 2, and then just dropped because I was just like, there's no way I can play another however many rounds and not lose.
Yeah.
And it was sealed as well, so it's like where you get 6 packs and you build your deck from those cards.
Put anything good?
No, not really. That was half the problem.
Yeah.
Not a great selection of cards, but yeah.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Cool. Well, yeah, I've been up to a little bit, I guess. I finished the Bloodborne book, the Warhammer Fantasy Ulrika the Vampire series, and moved on to the next one, which was Blood Forged.
Okay, what did you think of it?
It actually annoyed me, the second book, so
Really?
far. I'm halfway through, and everything I loved about the first book, and that flew in the face of what I thought the series was going to be, has been eroded, and it's gone to exactly what I thought the series was going to be originally.
Is it Warhammer Twilight?
It's not quite that bad, but it is bad. Like, you know, I liked the political intrigue and the kind of, you know, the Lamian society of vampires, the aristocracy of the night, and they kind of control the lives of men, you know, indirectly from the shadows. And I thought that's kind of cool. I like that idea. I like the way that they presented that in the first book. And then the second book, without giving any spoilers away, all of that kind of disappears, and it's one vampire out on their own, chopping people up, being a vigilante for justice and freedom, and I was just like, goodbye intrigue, goodbye plot.
Okay, so
Hello, ripping people's throats out in alleys.
So it's so it's sort of a Batman vampire,
basically.
Okay.
In fact, they even make reference to Batman in one of the things. There's 2 guys standing in an alleyway after a kill has been made, and they're like, did you see that? The person that thing jumped onto the roof. You know, it was like a giant bat or something. And the guy was like, that was no bat. That was some sort of man bat. And then it just left that. And I literally sort of like put my head in my hands. Was like, oh my god, really. So I don't know. As I say, I'm only halfway through it, so maybe it will pick up.
Okay.
But it's not enticing me to read the final book. But I probably will, just because I want to finish it.
Fair enough.
But yeah. But anyway, despite that, I did feel the need to revisit my vampire army, and started sculpting and finishing my vampire count. That's the Lord's, right? Counts.
Yes.
Yeah. The vampire count, which is the Lamian vampire. So I sculpted up a bunch of her hair and cloth and stuff like that, and she looks alright. You know, don't know if I'll get around to painting her because I still haven't worked out the scheme for the army. But yeah, she looks good. I'm kind of keen to try out the army again. Painted a bit of Necromunda, a few more issues, and that was pretty much it. I got the Warriors book for my birthday.
Yes.
Thanks to Dave. Thanks, Dave. That's kind of cool. Yeah, it seems good. I was pricing up a monsters army, like a Gribbly army led by...
Like 15 models.
Yeah, like Throg and... what was it? Suneater, Colex Suneater, or whatever his name is. And then just Dragon Ogres and Trolls. But, I don't know. It seems like it would be fun, but really weak. But who knows? Maybe I'll proxy it and see how it goes.
There we go.
But yeah, have you had a chance to read the Warrior book at all?
I haven't, but my Warhammer Fantasy team that I do a lot of theory hammering with on Facebook has gone through it fairly extensively and have more or less come up with what we think are some fairly good lists for it.
Yeah.
None of them I think I could beat reasonably with Wood Elves, which is
Wow.
unfortunate, but whatever. It's just where it is. To be honest, I don't see that as such a big deal because New Warriors are an 8th edition book, Wood Elves are a 6th edition book, and they shouldn't be writing 8th edition books with previous ones in mind.
Yeah.
They should be balancing them against the other 8th edition books and what have you. So
Agreed.
it's an unfortunate side effect, but it is what it is. You know, I play the army by choice. If I want to play something different, there's nothing stopping me.
Yeah. No, that's true. How do you feel the balance of the book is in general? Do you think it's okay? Do you think it's top end or?
It looks good.
Yeah.
I don't know how ridiculously good it is yet, but I think it's going to be towards the higher end of the spectrum. I don't know if it's Ogre's level of awesome.
Yeah.
But it's I think it's going to be pretty good.
There were some interesting things. I don't know if I'm sure you have picked up on these, but reading it through myself, I came across a certain few things that I thought, oh, that's good, and I thought, actually, wait, like the whole Eye of the Gods turning into a spawn or a demon prince thing.
Yeah.
So for anyone that doesn't know, when you defeat a character in a challenge, you get a roll on the Eye of the Gods. If you roll a double 6, the guy turns into a demon prince with all the same stats, but with all the abilities that he had. So if he was a mage, he still retains his magic levels, he still retains his equipment, all that kind of junk. But it states that the guy also dies. Like, he counts as dead. So you may get your demon prince, but you guaranteed lose the points for that character.
What you might see happening there is people taking 3 minimum-sized units of Chosen with champions, because I think Chosen get a free roll on the start of the game.
Just in the hopes that...
And over a 6-game tournament, that's 18 rolls. That's not a bad chance. You'll roll 1 double 6.
Yeah.
And then you've got a free demon prince.
True. And I guess if you're only losing a champion, then it's not so bad.
No, it's not a big deal at all.
But when it's your level 4 who suddenly gets kicked out of his unit unceremoniously and has now got no protection from cannonballs and is dead for all intents and purposes, that seems like a disadvantage to me.
Yeah, there are some good things in there, like the item which lets you re-roll 1s on your ward saves, which you can combine with a 3+ ward save.
So Tzinch Lords basically are going to run around only failing on a 2.
Yes.
Dirt.
Yeah.
I'm sure Dave will come up with some of these combos. He's a big fan of Nurgle, but I'm sure some Tzinch stuff is going to sneak into his lists.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But the book, what I do like is, I've seen some people saying that perhaps the quality of the pages and the magic cards aren't great,
Okay.
but I do like the cover art.
Yeah.
I think it's quite cool.
I don't like the price.
Oh, no, me neither. I used to buy almost every GW army book when it came out, but this was when they costs of £10 to £12, and then they went to £15 each, and then went to £18 each, and each time it just becomes it goes from being something that you're in GW because you need to get some paints, or I wanted to get a new Black Library novel or what have you, and I see a book and I thought, oh, I'll get that because it's nice, to that looks nice, but no, I'm not spending £20+ on a book which I'm only going to read a couple of times.
No.
That's the thing, I guess. And of all people to kind of have the inclination to buy books, you as a tournament player, you would think, okay, you need to sort of know thy foe, and you want to know what's in the books beforehand. And if they price you out of the game, then they're probably doing something a little bit wrong.
Yeah, well, the main ones I'd buy would actually be a lot of the 40k ones.
Okay.
I don't play 40k, but I just loved a lot. I just love a lot of the models. I find actually the 40k fluff, I prefer reading to the fantasy fluff.
Yeah.
So things like I've got the Blood Angels book, the Space Wolves book, the Dark Eldar book, just because they're really nice books with some really awesome models in and some really nice fluff. And I almost started armies because of them, just because it's the closest I've ever come to doing something just as a painting project. But that never went through. But now I will only ever buy the book if I particularly want to do it as an army.
Yeah, which is a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah.
But,
Well, yeah, they can. It's their product. It's their prerogative to charge what they'd like for it. However, it's my prerogative as a customer too. If I don't want it, I don't have to buy it.
No.
Very true. Very true. But yeah, there we go. But you know, it's a nice book. I mean, it's well put together.
Yeah.
You know,
They're hardback now as well.
yeah, they are. Yeah. Here you go. You have a look.
I think it's quite a nice little change, as long as they seem pretty durable. Things like before they redid them, the quality of the softback books was utterly awful.
It was.
A couple of my books fell apart within weeks.
Yep. Yeah, my Undead book, all the pages have fallen out. My previous one.
Whereas at least with these ones, they seem to have the standard quite high.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, I think they just look nice as hardback books.
Yeah.
Just an aesthetic thing.
And they stand up on the shelf better.
Yes.
They don't bend over everywhere once they're hardbacks. But yeah, no, agreed. Wonder when they start doing hardback White Dwarf and charging £10 an issue.
Ugh.
Is this the reason why they're charging more though? Because it's hardback, or just because?
Well, it's part and parcel. I think it's hardback now. It's full colour.
Full colour, which full colour was a big revelation for GW, but it wasn't a revelation in the miniatures industry because War Machine, so all Privateer Press, have been doing full colour rulebooks for quite some time before GW picked up on it.
Yeah.
But again, it's just one of those things that it looks nicer than black and white, and it is going to put the costs up to produce them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just generally, GW raise their prices every 6 months.
Yeah.
So, everything's just gone up in price since years ago when we used to play.
Right.
But,
It is what it is.
exactly, you don't like it, you don't have to play.
Yeah.
Or pay, as it were.
Pretty much.
But there we go. Cool. Well, that's Warriors. I mean,
News wrapped up pretty much.
Yeah, maybe after.
What we've been up to.
Yeah. Maybe after we've played a couple of games with the new books, after you've played against it, then we can revisit our thoughts. So, gaming today. So, since Dan's here and he's not played Wargames for ages and Necromunda ever, we're going to play a game of Necromunda, I think.
Yes.
So that Dan can learn some rules, get your grips around it, see if you like it as a game.
Yeah,
and then if you fancy it, then maybe do a little demo game for you afterwards and write you up a gang or something like that.
Sounds cool.
Excellent. So what scenario do you want to play, Tom?
I don't mind, we could roll one up, I think.
Roll for a scenario? What a crazy idea.
Proper fluff bunnies, aren't we?
Cool, that sounds good. We can do that. I might rock my Escher today, making the squats.
Yeah.
Although there are 2 figures downstairs, I don't know if I can be bothered to go downstairs. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, we'll roll up and see. Do you want to roll it now?
Yeah, it's 2 dice, isn't it? I can't
Yeah.
remember what the scenario is. It's over back somewhere.
Somewhere.
I don't actually have I used to have a rat skin map that I could use to adjust it, but I don't have that anymore. I think I sold it. So, we roll a 7. Spot on average.
Player with the lowest gang rating may choose which scenario is played.
Mine is 17-12.
I don't know what mine is.
Yours is probably going to be lower. My gang's played quite a few games more than either your squads or your Escher.
I'm pretty sure my Escher's about 15 something, but I have to actually find the freaking gang sheet. Cool. In that case, what do I want to play? Let's have a little look-ski. Gang fights, scavengers, hit and run. Hit and run's always quite interesting. Maybe I'll do a hit and run.
Okay.
Just because it can be loads of different things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go for hit and run then.
Right.
So, should we roll to see what type of hit and run? Oh, actually, we do that afterwards. Any of the
Set
the attacker
up,
rolls a
rules are
d6
still
which
right.
mission once the scenery has been set up.
Yeah.
But we have to put the loot counters and all that kind of jive down first because that affects where it'll go. Okay, cool. So we're going to go away and play hit and run scenario. Eschers versus Delax, me versus Tom. And we will hit you guys up in a bit with the results. So enjoy this song and we will see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Hello and welcome back to the Attic Gaming Club podcast. Hope you enjoyed that song. So, I got Dan and Tom with me here. We just finished playing some Necromunda. So I guess we'll go through it game by game. So first game, Tom and I had a bit of a scuff, didn't we?
We did.
My Escher versus Tom's Delac. How did that go, Tom?
It went quite well for me. We rolled up a scenario and you got to choose, so you went for was it the hit and run?
Hit and run, yeah.
Where you had to try and grab a loot counter, which when I deployed the scenery, I put the loot counter right in the middle, in the most open possible place I could, just in case that was the scenario one you rolled up, and then you chose to try and get it anyway. So I thought I was quite pleased with that. Whereas the water still I kept quite relatively hidden as it's allowed to be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I did get to pick. The water still was quite far away. And I have in this particular gang, no heavy weapons at all, other than a flamer, which isn't a heavy, it's special. But, so strength 4 is the best. Well, I guess I could have high-powered plasma gunned it.
Yeah.
But that was it. That was my one turn, one chance, 4+.
Yeah.
So I thought it was probably easier. Obviously, I was hoping to get more guys.
Yes.
So anyone that knows the scenario, it's I start with D6.
Yes, I think we each start with D6.
Yeah, I think we each start with D6. Yeah, you're right. And
yours might be D3 plus 2.
No, I think
D6
it's D6. But yeah, essentially, I was hoping to get a lot. But you rolled up first, and you got 6 guys.
Yeah, I got 6 people to start off with, and then you start off with 4.
Exactly. So immediately I was at a disadvantage, especially considering that in this scenario I can't bring anyone else on.
Yeah, and I can.
Yeah, so that was kind of brutal.
Yeah, it started out alright for you because you're guaranteed to get the first turn. So you did get the drop on me. You didn't actually do what I was expecting. I was expecting you to try and get the loot counter and then get out as quickly as you could. Whereas instead you went for the let's kill all of Tom's people approach.
Well, okay, so it's effectively D3 plus 2. It's 1 to 2 is 4 guys, 3 to 4 is 5 fighters, 5 to 6 is 6 fighters.
Okay.
So I figured statistically I should have at least one more guy than you.
Yeah.
You get D6, average roll, 3 to 4. My average roll is 5. So, I was hoping, okay, cool, I should get more guys than you. As it turned out, I started off with 2 less. So that was worst case scenario for me. So I literally thought, well, running for the loot counter isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Set up with everybody watching it, guns pointed. So you had 4 guys on one side, 2 guys on the other. So I thought to myself, okay, I can either try and sort of like bushwhack the 2 guys, and then I'm sort of left stranded on the other side of the table, have to run through no man's land to get to you. It's going to take me 2 turns at least, 2 or 3 turns, by which point you're going to have brought on more guys. It's not going to work. So I thought, okay, send everyone in against your 4 guys that hold up in one sort of area. It's 4v4, it's my best odds, really.
Yeah, especially as you get a first turn.
Yeah, exactly. So I was quite sneaky, actually, with taking the first turn. Because I knew I had first turn, I brought somebody who had sprint, which enabled me to get in charge range in that first turn.
Yeah.
So I had a guy, ran straight forward, first turn, into one of your regular guys, was it?
No, he went into my leader who promptly cut you in half.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that wasn't good. That was it. But I had my leader backing him up, who plasma pistoled one of your guys in the face, and then a cheeky sniper shot that managed to take your heavy out.
Yes.
6 to hit, 4 to wound, 6 to remove. And just removed him straight away. So that was pretty useful. So first turn ended and I was like, okay, I lost a guy into combat, but...
And that taking the heavy out of action also panicked my ballistic skill 6 person with an infrared sight who sat on the rooftop ready going, all of your people who are in hard cover from at long range, I can hit 1 or 2+ with my bolt gun.
Yeah. So
she promptly legged it for 2 turns, which I wasn't that impressed with.
Exactly. So first turn, I thought, okay, this isn't turning out too bad actually. 4 on 4, I've already taken out 2 guys. This is looking pretty good for me.
Yeah.
And then it all kind of went downhill.
Yeah, my leader chopped 1 in half and then ran into your leader. And that's reversed itself, because where you ran into my leader and fluffed your dice, I then ran into your leader and fluffed my dice.
Yeah.
Except that you only flesh wounded me instead rolling the 2+ to take me out of action.
Yeah, that was really annoying. I think if I'd have managed to roll, you know, that I only got 1 wounding hit, I think, in the combat, wasn't it?
Something like that.
And I rolled that 1,
Yeah.
and it was like, shit. Anything but a 1, and it would have removed your leader, and I could have followed up through the rest of the gang that was sitting on that side, and I might have stood a chance. But as it turned out, I rolled that 1, and then the next turn, you promptly cut my leader down.
Yeah.
At which point it was pretty much game over.
Because I then got two reinforcements on my second turn, and they came on exactly the right board edge.
Yeah.
So 1 in 6 chance they could have come on that board edge, and they came on that board edge.
Yeah. So they just walked forward, shot my guys.
And walked forwards, pinned 1, took another out of action. At which point I think you voluntarily bottled.
Yeah, I think it was like beginning of the third turn, and all my guys were either out of action, pinned, or down. So it was like, yeah, I'm not going to be hanging around here.
Nah, there wasn't really a great deal of point in hanging around.
Yeah, so my ass bottled the hell out of there.
Yep.
And
you didn't get any lasting bad effects out of it.
No, end of the game. One of my guys was captured by yours in the end. Auto pistol, sword, sprint guy, which kind of makes sense. I guess he just kind of ran into your leader and promptly got bonked on the head and stolen away. So yeah, he got captured. Other than that, everyone made a full recovery.
Yeah.
So we negotiated back the return of my guy.
Yeah, I the auto pistol's crap. I don't want it. It's not even. It's barely worth taking and selling. I'd rather just let you keep it as a gesture of good faith. So I took the sword, which will get distributed around the gang, and I think took 20 credits from you.
The sword's handy for you as well because you can't buy them by default, can you?
No, I had to send a ganger to look for them.
Yeah, you have to sacrifice a rare trade roll to get
So
them.
that'll probably go on my chap who's got sprint.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. Upgrade wise, what did I get? I got 3 people that went up. My leader got counter-attack, which would have been
indeed.
Very handy during that game.
Yep, any time you obviously has the sword, so he's allowed to parry. Anytime you're not allowed to parry, say when I have a sword as well, you get to make an extra attack.
Yeah, so I always have at least some sort of bonus, either the ability to parry or +1 attack.
Yeah, it's pretty handy.
So it's a good one. Then my auto gun sword crack shot girl got a weapon skill 5 upgrade. So I don't really know what's going on with her. She's got ballistic skill 4 and crack shot, but also has weapon skill 5. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then my sprinting girl got ballistic skill 4. So great. So she's got sprint, 2 attacks, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4.
Right.
So I guess she's just going to get pistol and sword, as she has already got, and just sort of run around and shoot things and stab it, hopefully.
Sounds like a plan.
I did get a free Juve though.
Yeah, your 2 settlements, you always seem to get one.
So
there's a 1 in 3 chance each time, so it's not far off.
So I've got 6 Juves in my gang now. Like, far too many Juves.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting a little bit annoyed now because they're starting. That puts me 13, which puts me into the next bracket of income.
Yeah.
So now they're just coming along and eating all my food and not producing anything useful because they're all shit. My best Juve has got 12 experience points. Like most of them have got 3 or
That's what I should
0.
have done. I should have traded the ganger back to you for that Juve.
You could have had him. You can have him now if you want. But yeah, and I bought some smoke bombs that I got offered.
Yeah.
Just because I thought, it'd be fun. Chuck some smoke around. So how did your after battle go, Tom?
Nothing too stand out really. One of my ballistic skill 4 gangers went up to BS5, which is good. Of my sort of core of 4 or 5 people that are shooty, all of them are now at worst ballistic skill 4. One's at BS5, one's at BS6.
Pretty sweet.
So I just seem to be rolling up loads of really good upgrades on them. That's all going well. I also got on the red trade chart, got a hot shot laser power pack, which we decided to reduce by 5 credits just because it's a bit pointless otherwise. Like you may as well buy a bolt gun.
Yeah.
So one who's ballistic skill 5 is probably now going to get the hot shot power pack.
Nice.
But on the flip side, on the one hand I have my gangers getting really good upgrades like ballistic skill across the board. My heavies just have this trend of getting the most pointless upgrades in the world.
And injuries.
Yeah, one of them got a leg injury, so his movement went down to 3, which isn't that big a deal because he tends to just deploy in one place and then sit there for the rest of the game.
True.
However, he did roll an upgrade and he got a second attack, which is great because he should never be in combat anyway because he's just going to lose everything. So between them now, my 2 heavies, one of them's got an extra attack and the other one's got an extra weapon skill and an extra strength.
Useful stuff.
It's just the most pointless upgrade ever. But it's better than them getting poked in the eye with a sharp stick.
Or the leg.
Yeah, or the other leg.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not the end of the world, but it's not exactly what I was after. Having a weapon skill 4 shooty person.
Indeed not. But, you know, as you say, it could be worse.
Yeah, and other than that, nothing particularly spectacular. A couple of stat increases here and there.
Buy anything at the trade shop?
Just for hot shot laser power.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I then decided just to save some money up. I'm not really lacking for anything in the gang at the moment. I bought back the 2 las pistols that I lost last time, where you captured one of my gunfighters who had 2 las pistols, so I ransomed him back, took 2 las pistols from around the gang and gave them to him. So now I've just bought another 2 to give back to the people who have been standing around with nothing.
No
last
backups.
game.
Yeah. Ah, fair enough. Nice. But yeah, so that was a good game. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did.
Excellent.
So
it was kind of short, but it was eventful actually, considering how short it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, it was cool. And then Dan and I had a quick game, didn't we, Dan?
We did indeed.
You spent most of the game that Tom and I were playing just sort of like watching over shoulders and asking questions and stuff, and then put it into action yourself.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty tough. There's lots to learn at first, but it's a very fun game. Lots of tactics involved. Not that I was employing any of them. I was just dying pretty and rolling terrible dice rolls. But
you were rolling pretty shocking.
Yeah, but hey ho, it was fun.
Yeah,
and yeah, I'd definitely like to get into it a bit more, read
Yeah.
some more of the rules and understand it a bit better, and then hopefully give you guys some better games rather than.
Everyone has to start somewhere though,
Yeah.
you know, and once you learn the rules and get into it a bit more, then you start formulating your own tactics. And
my starting games versus Adam were a bit rough, where I didn't really buy into this whole you should run forwards and attack people. I sort of just stood in the corner thinking I'll shoot him as he comes towards me. It doesn't work.
Yeah, well,
it doesn't work in the slightest.
I think that's kind of what I was trying to do there. I was a bit panicked about running out into the open and just getting obliterated, but that's kind of what you did. And
yeah, I mean, there's a fine balance, I think, between the play styles. You know, you have to. There's a certain amount of sort of turtling up and you know, shooting people as they come, but I think it goes well with a bit of, you know, threat. You have to bring the pain to them as well. You know, you cover your guys as they run in, so you'll find that, you know, as Tom was saying, your guys level up in different ways anyway than you perhaps would want. So you might find yourself with some guys that are really good in combat, even though you weren't planning on it.
Yeah.
So your gang will evolve in such a way that, you know, you might end up having to run forward anyway to make the most out of the upgrades you got.
Yeah.
But you enjoyed it, did you?
Definitely.
You're going to go for it? Going to join us with the campaign?
Why not?
Excellent. What gang are you thinking of going?
I have no idea at the moment. I think I'll have to have a look through. But like you said,
Yeah.
I think it's best to pick one of the more basic ones while I'm learning, and go from there. Maybe pick one that no one else is playing or something.
Yeah.
Just to
Well, I
add
think-
a bit of variety.
What have we got? No one's picked Orlocks or Goliaths or Cardor.
Tom Hale has an Orlock gang, but he's only
Oh,
been
that's
down
true.
here once.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about too much about that.
So yeah,
I quite like the look of the Cordal. So
yeah, the religious-y guys. Yeah, they've got some nice models. And kind of a good mix of combat and shooting as well.
yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Excellent, excellent. Well, glad to have you on board. Hopefully you can come more often and
Yeah.
join in. Fantastic. Cool. So, yeah, that was our games for today. Was there anything else anybody wanted to touch on, mention?
No. I can't
Oh,
think of
actually,
anything.
I do have something else. So, hopefully by the time you guys are listening to this, in fact, you might already be listening to this on it, but we have actually started a new website dedicated to the podcast where you will be able to download the episodes directly in MP3 format, or you'll be able to search for us on iTunes in the podcast section, like every other podcast, and listen to us on your iPod or whatever, you know, iTunes, etc. Or again, download the MP3s directly from there, so you won't have to go to YouTube to listen to this. I think I'll probably still put them up on YouTube for now.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, just to keep people informed. But essentially, there is a website. We will be updating it with blog posts as well as when the podcasts go up. This is where I'm going to suck because I can't remember what the freaking address is. I believe it is atticgamingclub.libsyn.com, and that's LIBSYN.com, as in Liberated Syndicate. atticgamingclub.libsyn.com. I believe that's correct. I will put the address in the description of this video anyway, just in case you're wrong. In case I'm wrong. I'll give you wrong. Yeah, just in case I'm wrong, or you're wrong, or anyone's wrong. Especially Dan. Dan's always wrong. Yeah, so hopefully you should be able to do that. But if you just search on iTunes by this point, hopefully you should find us as well, so you can subscribe to us on there and get the latest episodes as they come down. So just search Attic Gaming Club on iTunes, and the usual contact methods apply. So you get to us on Twitter at Attic Gaming Club, YouTube Attic Gaming Club, Gmail atticgamingclub@gmail.com, and Facebook at Attic Gaming Club again. Do you like the theme there, Dan?
I do.
It's good, isn't it? I like to keep it simple. Yeah, so I think that's it for us today. It's quite a short episode, which is kind of ironic considering that we haven't gamed for 2 weeks, so we should have more to talk about. But whatever.
Well, I
Real
suppose
life
it's
stuff.
me being new and spending lots of time going through new things, and
It's alright.
yeah,
It's all good. It's all good. Pleasure to have you aboard, Dan.
thank you.
Excellent. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave us a comment, send us an email or message or Facebook post or whatever, if you want to hear some stuff from us later. I think Dave was talking about doing Dreadfleet soon. Maybe not next week, because I don't think he's free. But after that, we might get a bit of Dreadfleet in. I know that you were preparing the Super Dungeon Explore stuff as well.
I cleaned up a couple of those models.
So maybe we get some of that in soon as well.
Sounds good. I am actually quite keen to play that. Ever since I heard it, the D6G talking about it on their podcast, it sounds like something I really want to try.
Yeah.
So get a game bit in at some point.
Excellent. So yeah, we got some new stuff coming up. Might be Necromunda for 1 more week, but after that, it'll probably be something new. Super Dungeon Explorer or Dreadfleet.
Sounds good. Yeah, nice bit of variety in there.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this episode, and as I say, feel free to leave us a comment or a message, and we will catch you guys soon. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Shazam!